Welcome back to Biology on Earth. We are discussing cell signaling. So we are discussing the receptors under cell signaling, which are called the cell surface receptors. We have already discussed about G protein coupled receptors, which are also called the GPCRs. So in this video lecture, I'm going to discuss about different receptors which are called GPCR receptors, their different ligands and their mechanism of action. So first of all is mechanism of action of glucagon. Now, glucagon is a hormone which can or which help in increase in blood sugar level. The glucagon hormone act on both liver cells, which are called hepatocytes, and skeletal muscle cells, because both the cells they store glucose in the form of glycogen. So here glucagon hormone release the glucose from stored glycogen. So glucagon is released in response to decrease in blood glucose up to 70 mg per 100 ml. So normal concentration of glucose in blood is 100 mg per 100 ml. But here the concentration of glucose is less in blood. So in response to this decreased level of glucose in blood, the glucagon hormone is released by alpha cells of pancreas. So this is one hepatocyte which contain the GPCR receptor, and this receptor is specific for the specific ligand, which here is glucagon. So once glucagon bind on the GPCR receptor, what will happen? The G protein activate. Here is the G protein which contain the three subunits. We have already discussed this in detail under the GPCR receptors. So here what happen, once ligand bind to this receptor, the L3 loop of this receptor activate the G alpha of G protein. It help in binding of GTP to G alpha. So once GTP bind to this G alpha dissociate from this complex and slide along the membrane, and it activate the effector molecule, which here is called the adenylyl cyclase. Adenylyl cyclase, it convert ATP into cyclic AMP. And we have already discussed about this mechanism, that cyclic AMP activate the protein kinase A, which has two subunits, two regulatory subunits and two catalytic subunits. CAMP bind to these regulatory subunits, and once CAMP bind to this, what happen, the catalytic subunit dissociate from this, and it help in activation or phosphorylation of different proteins. So here the catalytic subunit is activated and it performs two different functions. First function is to phosphorylate the glycogen synthase hormone or protein, and after the phosphorylation of glycogen synthase, it become inactivated and glycogen synthesis stop. So one mode of action is this. In the second step, this catalytic subunit, it phosphorylate the phosphorylase kinase, which is also called the PPK. So here is active PPK, which is phosphorylated PPK, and it help in the phosphorylation of another protein or enzyme, which is called the glycogen phosphorylase B, and which in turn activate glycogen phosphorylase A, and this glycogen phosphorylase A help in dissociation, or we can say the breakdown of glycogen into glucose, and the process of breakdown of glycogen into glucose is called as the glycogenolysis. So this is how the glucagon, it act on different cells like hepatocytes and skeletal muscle cells, and it promote glycogenolysis, then glucogenolysis and lipolysis. So second is mechanism of ADH, which is antidiuretic hormone. Now antidiuretic hormone is secreted by posterior pituitary gland, and this hormone act as the ligand for GPCR. This is the one ligand which is called the antidiuretic hormone, but it act differentially on different cells because different cells have different receptors. So it can bind to different cells and perform different functions. So one of the functions of antidiuretic hormone is water retention from DCT. DCT is distal convoluted tubule of kidney and CCT, which is cortical collecting tubule. तो इन दोनों से वाटर को ये रिटेन करता है. So I'm going to discuss about the mechanism of action of ADH on principal cells of DCT and CCT. And water retention occur inside the DCT and CCT, the principal cells of DCT and CCT. This is the principal cell of DCT or CCT, and this is blood vessel. So here in blood vessels, there is decrease in blood volume and low BP, dehydration due to water loss or solvent loss, and osmolarity is high because the water is lost from body. So that's why salt concentration inside the blood is increased. So that's why osmolarity is high. So in response to all these factors, the ADH hormone is secreted by posterior pituitary into the blood. And from the blood, this ADH reaches to kidney and act on the principal cells of DCT and CCT. Now here ADH act as a ligand and receptor is same as the GPCR receptor. So once the ADH bind to GPR receptor, it activates the G protein. We have already discussed about this multiple times. So G protein, the alpha subunit, or we can say the alpha subunit of this G protein, which is called G alpha, it become activated by binding of this ligand because it is now bounded with GTP. Further, it help in activation of adenylyl cyclase, and adenylyl cyclase convert ATP into cyclic AMP. So here in these cells, the cyclic AMP concentration get increased. So once cyclic AMP concentration increase inside the cytosol, it help in activation of protein kinase A. Now protein kinase A here has two functions. First of all, it can phosphorylate, or it help in phosphorylation of aquaporin 2. This is the vessel which contain the channels which are called the aquaporin 2 channels. Once the phosphorylation of aquaporin 2 channels, the aquaporin 2 channels, they become activated. But for their binding to plasma membrane, there should be increase in calcium concentration inside the cytosol of cell. So second function of pKa is to release calcium from SCR, which is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So here is the ryanodine receptor. Once these receptors, they open up the calcium ion release into the cell, and the calcium concentration increase inside the cytosol, and this increased calcium concentration help in fusion of the vesicles which contain aquaporin 2 to bind with this plasma membrane. And once the aquaporin channel bind to plasma membrane, the cell take up water, and finally this water, which is absorbed by DCT and CCT, it get absorbed into blood, which help in increase in blood pressure and blood volume. So this is how the blood pressure and blood volume become restored. And so once the blood volume and BP is restored, the brain, or we can say pituitary gland, stop releasing this ADH hormone, and this signaling will off. And so as we have already discussed that ADH has different function in different cells. So in case of blood vessels, ADH help in vasoconstriction. So these are called the blood vessels, and blood vessels has three layers. First is called tunica externa, middle layer is tunica media, and internal layer is tunica intima. So this middle layer, which is called the tunica media, it is made up of smooth muscles, and smooth muscles help in contraction and relaxation. So this layer, tunica media, help in the vasodilation and vasoconstriction. Vasodilation is the process of relaxation of blood vessels, and the vasoconstriction is constriction of blood vessels. So here ADH, it promote or control the vasoconstriction in blood vessels. So this is the mechanism of action of ADH on blood vessels. So here is the tunica media, and which is shown here, and tunica media has different type of GPCR receptor, which is called the V1A receptor. And once ADH bind to this receptor, means antidiuretic hormone bind to this receptor, what will happen? The G protein become activated. Here is different type of G protein, which is called G alpha Q protein. Now this Q type of protein, they are specific for specific effector molecules. So these, once G alpha or G alpha subunit of G protein is activated, it help in activation of PLC beta. PLC beta is phospholipase C beta. Once it become activated, it help in the activation of PIP2. PIP2 is phosphoinositol 4,5 bisphosphate, and It help in activation of DAG, which is diacylglycerol, and secondly IP3, which is inositol 1,4,5 triphosphate. So this inositol 3 phosphate, or we can say IP3, they bind to specific receptor which is present in smooth endoplasmic reticulum, and they help in release of calcium ions from SCR. SCR is store of calcium ion. It store the calcium inside the cell, and once signaling is on, the calcium is released from sarcoplasmic reticulum, or we can say smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So here concentration of calcium inside the cytosol, it get increased, and the calcium, it has second effector molecule, or it can activate the second effector molecule, which is called the calmodulin. This calcium, it bind to calmodulin, and the calcium calmodulin complexes, they increase inside the cytosol of cell. And this calmodulin, it help in activation of myosin light chain kinase, and which help in vasoconstriction. So this is how ADH, it play different role in different cells, because the receptors, they are different, and the effector molecules, they are different. So this is all about the different type of GPCR, their ligand and their mechanism of action. If you have any type of query regarding this topic, you can ask me in comment section, and if you find the content useful, please like and share the video and subscribe to my channel Biology on Earth.